What if I told you that there are these invisible strings connecting every single living thing to the world around it? I'm talking everything, from the tiniest microbe to the biggest whale. Well, today, we're going to dive into the science that actually studies these incredible connections, ecology.
So let's just jump right in with a question that I admit sounds a little crazy. What if a single drop of rain could actually determine the fate of a wolf? It sounds super dramatic, right? But believe it or not, this idea gets right to the very heart of what ecology is all about.
Because ecology, well, that's the science that answers that very question. It's the field that draws a line directly from that raindrop to that wolf. Why? Because it's a field built entirely on the idea of connections. So what does that actually mean in practice? Well, the textbook definition is pretty simple. Ecology is the study of interactions, how every living thing, every organism, connects with all the other organisms and with the non-living world that surrounds it.
But if there's one thing you take away today, let it be this. Nothing, and I mean nothing, happens in a vacuum. Every living thing is in this constant dance. It's always influencing and being influenced by literally everything else around it. And this dance, these interactions, they basically break down into two main types. Super simple. First, you've got organisms connecting with other organisms, like a predator hunting its prey. And second, you've got organisms connecting with their physical world. Think about a fish and how much it depends on the water it swims in.
Okay, so to really get a handle on these interactions, we've got to know the building blocks. And it's actually surprisingly simple. Ecologists pretty much split the entire world into just two categories, the living and the non-living.
So on one side, you have your biotic factors. Just think bio like biology. This is all the living stuff, the plants, the animals, even bacteria. Then on the other side, you've got abiotic factors. The A here means not or without, so these are the non-living things: sunlight, water, temperature, soil, all that good stuff.
And you can see it perfectly right here. The whole wolf and rabbit situation, that's a purely biotic interaction, just two living things going at it. But then you look at that cactus. That plant is an absolute master of dealing with its abiotic world, right? It's surviving that crazy desert heat and the fact that there's almost no water.
You could almost think of these abiotic factors as the ultimate gatekeepers. They are the filters that literally decide what kind of life can even exist in a place. It's really that simple. No water, no fish. No sunlight, no trees. They pretty much set all the rules of the game. All right, so we've got our building blocks, the biotic and the abiotic. Now let's see how these pieces come together in this really delicate dynamic dance that we call an ecosystem. This right here is a classic example of that dance. It's a population cycle. When there's a ton of prey around, the predator population booms. But of course, as more predators eat the prey, that prey population shrinks, which then causes the predator population to shrink too. It is a constant, never-ending feedback loop. So that's how living things can keep each other in check. But what happens when you mess with a non-living factor? What happens when the environment itself gets thrown off balance? And here it is. This is the answer to that question we started with. It's a ripple effect. It all starts with one simple change. The rainfall decreases. Just that. Because of that, the plants can't grow as much. With fewer plants, there's less food for the herbivores, like these deer. And then the final domino falls. With fewer deer to hunt, the wolf population declines. And just like that, that single drop of rain is connected directly to the fate of the wolf. So why does this happen? It's because an ecosystem isn't just a collection of animals and plants. It is a system. And that is the key word. It's a group of interconnected parts where change to just one little piece, inevitably, without fail, influences everything else. And once you start to see the world as a system of connections, gosh, it changes everything. This isn't just about forests and animals anymore. This is a totally new and really powerful way of seeing the entire world around you. There's a name for this skill. It's what ecologists call systems thinking. And honestly, it's like a superpower. It's the ability to look past a single event and see the whole web of patterns and connections that caused it. And this doesn't just apply to nature. It applies to the economy, to our friendships, to pretty much everything in life.
At the end of the day, ecology teaches us this one really profound lesson. Our world is not just a collection of separate, random things. It's an intricate, deeply interconnected web. And in that web, every single thread matters.
So, I'll leave you with a little challenge. As you go about your day, just try to think like an ecologist for a bit. Look for those hidden connections. What's one relationship in your own world big or small, that you've never really noticed before. Give it some thought. Thanks for joining me on this one.